Hey, greetings everyone. And we are on episode 17 of Lines on a Page. And yeah, this is going to be a real interesting one for me to do. And most of that is just because I'm getting to draw a childhood character that, I haven't drawn in probably about 20 years. And it just happens to be Optimus Prime. So I am definitely excited and also just a little bit nervous. So because I just haven't drawn the character in who knows how long. And we're going to be doing just a quick little, typical housekeeping that we do at the beginning of the show. So remember to like and subscribe if you like everything that's going on. And if you want to find me on social media, I just go to Linktree, tpriceartworks, which obviously you found me here on Facebook, or also I'm also on Instagram and Twitter, and also Hive Mastodon and Tumblr. But it looks like we got some people in the comments already. Justin Butler, hey, good to see you, man. And of course, Alan Breelove coming in. Get his Go Bots drawing started. Yeah, I don't think Psykill is going to be making an appearance tonight. um, so yeah, like I said, I haven't drawn robots really all that much since I got back into doing artwork right around 2015. Um, but yeah, growing up, I remember drawing, like robots here and there just as a little kid, and just didn't really care. It was fun to do. Um, but in middle school and high school, I was definitely drawing a lot of robots, more than probably any kid probably should be drawing, and doing it all with a ballpoint pen. Uh, and there's just something different about being a kid and just grabbing a random piece of printer paper and a ballpoint pen and just going to town, you know, uh, just not having a care in the world because you're having fun. And it's something that when you get older, doing art more, you just can't do that almost. I mean, there's some people that still do to this day, but um, at least for me, it's impossible to get that same level of just devil may care kind of attitude, just going straight to the page. But I did want to show you guys something that I have been working on, and most of it is just thinking about uh, the the passing of Jason Pearson, who, if you guys don't know who he was a part of Gaijin Studios out in Atlanta, Georgia. There are other big name artists who are all a part of it, namely being Adam Hughes, Cully Hamner, Brian Stelfreeze, Tony Harris, and there's a few others that I just can't remember the names at the moment. But Jason was a part of that, and he did a comic with Dark Horse called Body Bags. And I decided, just want to show you guys here on the screen, decided to do the main characters from Body Bags, Mac and Panda, and just figured this would be a fun little, tribute mini print of some sort. But I'll be putting digital colors on this, and it'll be ready to go probably at some point mid-February. I'll let you guys know. Um, hey, Tots is in the house. But yeah, I'll let you guys know when this is going to be available as a print. Like I said, it's going to be full color. I'll be doing colors digitally, but um, this was definitely a fun one to do simply because, characters I've never drawn before, but I do remember reading an issue or two of Body Bags as a kid. It's probably too young to be reading it in the first place. And Todd says, hello, Alan, or sup, Alan. Hey, James Parker in the house. Goody bong. Is the wrench on your name because you're I don't know, man. I don't know. Uh, at some point I'll figure it out. But anyways, unless you're referring that to Alan, but who knows? Yeah. So if you happen to see me kind of disappear off camera, I'm still here. I'm still drawing. I'm just testing out layout with everything. Hopefully there won't be any technical hiccups. And yeah, it should be interesting. I have tweeted this go by. Dude, it's gonna be hilarious when there's going to be people showing up. They're going to be like, "Yeah, GoBots," and they're like, "Wait a second, that's Optimus Prime." Um, so yeah, we are going to move over here onto the drawing board and get this off. But yeah, like I said, this was a fun one to do. Uh, Spent basically all of Saturday working on this. While I was here at Haven, and it was just a fun one to do. Now we're going to move ourselves over here, and we're going to get straight to it. I'm probably going to have to go back and forth between a lot of reference because even though I still technically remember, just off the top of my head exactly what it looks like, it's just nice to have that slight cushion, if you will, just to make sure that I remember something correctly when it comes to drawing Optimus Prime. Um, and while I'm thinking about it, yeah. So basically, when we're getting into the idea of just drawing Optimus Prime, one of the big things that I am going to be doing while drawing this is that we're going to be sticking with Generation 1 Optimus Prime because that's the one that I grew up with. That's the one that I remember a lot as a kid, still to this day. And I just feel like that's going to be the easier version to do. And let's see here. Blue wrench means moderator. Interesting. Did not know this. From the Transformers, yes. Well, TV show, but yes, also the 1986 as well. Um, and I was actually super happy to pick up a copy of the 30th anniversary of the Transformers movie. Because with the DVD, it comes with a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff in terms of talking with the voice actors who are still alive that were a part of the movie and even the TV show as well, because a lot of them did voices for multiple characters, and and of course they were also talking about how they cleaned up the entire movie. So basically, it was there was apparently a fire that happened in this uh, storage container area of I forgot which company, film company that it was that housed uh, the official master reel of the Transformers film. But apparently there was a fire that broke out. A lot of films got destroyed. That one survived, along with a bunch of others. And but for this particular 30th anniversary, even though there had been like two previous DVD releases of this movie, for the 30th anniversary, because technology had advanced so much since the first two releases, they wanted to do something really special. So they took the reel, they cleaned it up digitally, and they basically took the reel and had it feeding into an 8K resolution machine. And this scene was about as big as, it's kind of like the computers of old they used to see in like 1970s and 1980s films. It looks like a refrigerator basically. That was the 8K resolution machine, and then they bounced it down to 4K, so that it could be able to be playable and watchable on normal movie stuff. But the fact that there is an 8K resolution machine that does exist, and it kind of looks like an old computer server from days of old, I thought that was really interesting. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was just a bunch of other really fun things like certain voice actors, memories of just being around people like Orson Welles because that was his last official movie that he did. Of course, Leonard Nimoy was part of it. Judd Nelson did the voice of Hot Rod. Robert Cupp did the voice of Ultra Magnus, and I forgot who else, big Hollywood name wise, that was also a part of it. But yeah, it was probably one of the best things that came out of the 80s. And of course, there was also a bunch of drawbacks too when it came to the movie, and most of it was the death of Optimus Prime. And, you know, parents just, freaking out, and uh, kids being traumatized in the movie theater. Uh, so yeah, it was just a bunch of interesting little nonsense things here and there. But uh, personally, me, I was probably about 5 or 6 when I first watched them. That and not traumatized whatsoever. It was just a fun one. And I realized I just picked up the wrong pencil. So I'm going to be doing a super loose sketch first, get the idea down. And the best thing about doing, Transformers or just any sort of bipedal type robots, android cyborgs, what have you, is that you can basically do an entire human frame. And then all you have to do is basically just throw in the solid blocks and chunks or rounded edges, and you would still basically come out on top with you know the same design. So figure we would have Optimus Prime with his giant robot shotgun cannon thing, and yeah, I figured that would be a good one. And yeah, let's see here. Hey, hey, Justin, glad you showed in. Hallmark did Optimus Prime Ornament 2002. Yeah, I saw something about that. I want to say it was I think Hasbro must have shared that. Because I remember seeing it through a third party site. Draw little people trapped in a chest. Hysterical. Man, that's one of the things that I've always kind of thought about off and on is just with the amount of times that they, transform and, spit people out, you kind of always wonder if there was ever a moment where someone actually accidentally got stuck. Um, yeah, I'm going to go back over some of these lines with a ruler because it just makes sense. Um, so this area is going to be where his head's going to be. And the best part is that I actually get to draw basically, the same kind of head shape that I have always been doing with all my sketches. But instead of the typical three x-axis lines with the one y guiding line, I only have to do really the two. But I'm going to bring this up just a bit. Um, so I'm pretty sure someone in the chat is going to be mentioning something about the all filler, uh, you know, Michael Bay explosion of the Transformers movies. Um, so I don't know if you guys know this, but in terms of like favorite characters within the franchise, Jazz has always been my favorite character. And so to see basically Megatron ripping him in half on the silver screen with the first Michael Bay movie really put a sour taste in my mouth because this is a character that is considered the special forces guy of the Autobots, and that just didn't make any sense whatsoever. Um, but I don't know. Just felt like the franchise was just becoming more and more not faithful to the spirit of the Transformers. And I've even read the Dreamwave stuff, and I can't remember if the last official Transformers thing that I've read was All Hail Megatron, which was a great comic. I just can't remember if that was Dreamwave or IDW that put that out. It was really good. Definitely enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, it didn't really make any sense as to why they chose to kill off one of the top dogs of the Autobots. Just really didn't make any sense. Let's see here. Hey, those the first and Septidome, whereas ran as overgrown man shot. You're not wrong. But I will say this though, I'm super happy about the Bumblebee movie because they actually did show Generation One uh, character designs. I still kind of hate the fact that they didn't give Bumblebee back his normal face like how he's supposed to have. Um, but yeah, it but as far as the majority of the film, it definitely felt more in the spirit of the original cartoon and the comics. So I'm super happy about how Bumblebee came out. Um, More likely, I am probably going to be watching Rise of the Beasts. I think that's the name of that. Uh, not opening day. Probably like a matinee on a weekday or something like that. With the old and with the bay. Draw him standing on a tree in the back. Wait, no. Isn't the tree background look? That's supposed to be Jerry Bruckheimer, right? Let's see. Remember Hot Rod and then Bumblebee was added to the movies, bothered me for the longest time. Yeah, they are separate characters. Yeah. Um, so my brother actually never liked the character Hot Rod. Starting with the Transformers movie. I think it was, and I'm not sure if it was just because he didn't like the character or he didn't like Judd Nelson. It could have been that, but um, I enjoyed um, the '86 movie so much as a kid. It still has a killer soundtrack, which I've actually put two or three of the songs from that in my drawing playlist. And well, actually, not just my drawing playlist, but also my Artist Alley playlist as well. Um, just because it just feels good to have that playing. And when someone actually notices the tune, it's a good conversation piece. But let's see here. Thinking, um, have Prime's shoulder be about here, and that as well. So I'm thinking we're probably just going to have Prime is over here, and he's got the gun in this hand. So he's got his fingers over that, and um, but yeah, yeah. I was mentioning that earlier in the stream. It is Orson Welles' final film, which another interesting tidbit involving that movie. So like Orson Welles at the time was like well over 300 pounds. The man could barely walk. And they were actually talking about, some of the voice acting stuff. And one of the big issues was the fact that when they were doing the scenes with Unicron, and of course Orson Welles was the voice of Unicron, and apparently the mic stand couldn't go any lower than at the height that it was, and you couldn't hold it, or else uh, I don't know. I forgot how the whole situation was, but I'm pretty sure like the microphone was fixed on a stand that they were using, and they couldn't get any lower. And so basically, Orson had to sit up. Either he had to sit up or he had to stand for like X amount of times for X amount of lines takes he had to do for the character. And so there was an issue whenever he was doing those lines. He basically sounded like he was out of breath, and he actually was out of breath. Um, and so they were just like, we're not sure, what we're going to do because it sounds really bad. How are we going to fix this? And so the guy who was in charge of doing like sound effects and the music for the film was just like, give me the recordings and I'll fix it. So basically, what he did is that he took Orson's lines that were done with the, either a tape machine or an ADAT machine. I forgot which one it was. Runs them through like a vocoder or a synthesizer of some sort, and then re-records it in post. So if you're ever wondering why Unicron's voice sounds the way that it does in the movie, that's why. Which is a really cool idea. Um, and I don't think anyone else was doing anything close to that. Um, are the folks watching on Facebook sub to the YouTube channel? We need more subscriptions on YouTube. That I do not know. So if you happen to be watching this on Facebook, just to let you know, this is also being cross-trained with the Haven Comics Facebook page and also the Facebook Haven Comics YouTube page as well. So if you happen to have a YouTube channel, you can also watch it over there, and still be streaming. Same time, same place. You just have more options. But like I said at the very beginning, every like and every subscribe, every follow, every comment, notification helps us out immensely. Uh, all right, James Parker sounds like he's going to be switching over to the YouTube channel. What's the YouTube channel? Last I checked, I believe it's just Haven Comics. Uh, it's got the store logo on it, so I mean, you should be able to find it. Trying to get the YouTube channel every little bit helps. Yeah, most definitely. But at the same time, my page needs help too. So I will say this: Optimus Prime as a character is very John Wayne, um, in his demeanor. But kind of wanted to give him a little bit more of a, James Bondish kind of pose with the gun. Um, Figured that would be a decent-ish idea. All right, Jay Weird. Hello, Tom, and everyone else. Oh, that is James. All right, hey, well, that makes sense. Let's see here. All right, and then of course his side exhaust pipe thing is going to be right there, and um, I'd shrink this down just a bit. All right. So this is the interesting part of it all. Using a ruler. So I'm going to be going over a lot of different parts about this. We'll probably continue on making changes as I go, which I'm not super thrilled about the position of legs. Or yeah. Yeah, not liking that whatsoever. All right, starting to look a bit more where I want it. Okay. Um, I guess some more interesting question to engage with whoever happens to be here and watching. Who happens to be your favorite Autobot, and also who happens to be your favorite Decepticon? Really want to get to know you guys and figure that would be an interesting question to ask. So drop down in the comments below and let's get a discussion going. So, as you guys know, from what I said probably about 10 minutes ago, could have been 15 minutes ago for all I know. Yeah, so Jazz is my favorite Autobot, but Soundwave is my favorite Decepticon. I don't know, there was just something super awesome about a giant robot who could transform into a giant cassette, a Walkman cassette player, and yet spurt out uh, whichever Decepticons that he wants to. Uh, was, there was just something cool about that. And let's see here. All right, Justin, it's all about Rodimus Prime and Devastator. That's a good one. Starscream all. Grimlock, yeah, definitely for sure. Megatron, the the Bayverse. Wow. Because of Hugo Weaving. Um, let's see. Generally enjoyed Megatron being evil in the cartoon. Hot Rod in the Transformers movie because he's hot headed and sort of cowboyish in nature. Yeah, which I mean, given his name. Um, which I'm not sure if you guys know this, but if I remember this correctly, the person who voices Hot Rod in the Michael Bay movies is a French actor by the name of Omar Sy or Sy, however you pronounce his last name. Um, very talented actor, and I would highly recommend if you ever getting if you guys happen to have Netflix to watch his the show that he's in. Basically, it's called Lupin, which is based on kind of the exploits of Arsène Lupin, the gentleman thief, but it's done in a very modern context, kind of like how the BBC Sherlock Holmes thing was with Benedict Cumberbatch and great Martin, forgot his last name, the guy who played Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbit. Um, yeah, but it's called Lupin, Lupin. But basically, this guy is taking on the persona of the gentleman thief. So he's basically kind of reenacting his heist to a degree, but very modern and Mark Shorts. I mean, he was pretty short in the Hobbit. Um, but yeah, James, type in Lupin and you will not be disappointed. It's a great show. I want to say it's probably about 10 episodes. I mean, they have them separated as seasons, I think, but it's, I really wouldn't call them seasons. How a lot of like European shows, especially with like British TV, they'll call, a series like one season, but it only has like four episodes and they're like maybe an hour long. and then with like a different show, like an entire season is like 30 episodes. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. Um, but I can make the same argument about something like Game of Thrones, where I think there was like 8 episodes per season or something like that. And of course, I'm pretty sure there's a reason, like budgeting and stuff like that. So um, I guess you could call them like a limited series or a theme. But of course, back in the day, I think they would call it like a mini series. But like a mini series back in the day would have been like, you know, a 2 hour long episode here and then 2 hour episode long there. Um, yeah, it came out within like the last year, if not year and a half. Uh, it should still be on Netflix. So I'm going to try to do a mix of the blockiness and the roundness. Oh gosh. So I think one of the things that has always been the thing that trips me up is just getting the right kind of um, I guess feel for specifically the part under the hat brim, if you want to call it that, or helmet brim, whatever, for Optimus. Because if you do it, if you have like one line in the wrong place, he looks derpy as hell. All right. I think that's going to be closer to what I was thinking about it. I can feel myself. And I was thinking, um, that's a really good segue. So for you guys who don't know this, but I'm actually doing a prompt for the month of February called Femme Fatale February. Um, so I've already dropped the prompt earlier today at literally 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So far, I think I've already got 7 or 8 people um, who are getting whoever or have call first dibs, I should say. Only one person has went ahead and paid in advance. But yeah, so uh, it's a basically femme fatale every day for 28 days in the month of February. and there are still plenty that have not been claimed yet. So if you want to get first dibs of one, two, three, the rest of them, just comment below either on my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter page, and I will reserve that for you. The rules about it are pretty simple. You know, first come, first serve. Whoever happens to get first dibs, you can, second dib something. If a person just happens to back out, you still have a chance to get whatever that they don't want, or it's just going to be left unclaimed. But overall, every single one of the pieces are going to get scanned, and at some point later in the year, I'm going to be creating like a small, sketchbook zine kind of thing with all 28 of them, and they're all going to be in there. But to answer your question, Alan, the only reason that I did not put her in there is because she does not qualify under the term of what it means to be a femme fatale. There are 5 different characters that I have in that I kind of put off inside in the reserve that would have been great, but I think they just would have been a little bit too on the nose, and I wanted to pull out a bunch of people who I felt like would have fell under the uncommon category, which would cause people to be like, huh, sans serif from the Spirit. I've never read the Spirit, and it would cause that person to want to try to find a copy of, Will Eisner's Spirit, or even Silk Spectre from Watchmen, for people who have never read it before. Perfect example. So yeah, which I actually, since we're talking about Lupin, I'm actually am. I forgot what day it is, but I think it's on the 26th or 27th. But I will be drawing Fujiko Hime. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Um, but yeah, uh, one of Lupin's interests, and yeah, I mean, she basically classifies as that. Yes, I did see the movie when she was doing karate, but does not classify under what it means in terms of a femme fatale character. Miss Piggy has never been. Um, is she over the top? Sure, but not a femme fatale. But yeah, several different characters from Marvel and DC. Uh, you know, one or two characters from Vertigo and Wildstorm are in there, and uh, I forgot what other companies that involve whichever franchises, but yeah. Oh, and a Disney character or two. So I think, yeah, Emma Frost is on the list. Last I checked, I don't think that she's been claimed. So if you want to get first dibs on Emma Frost, just drop me a comment either on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, so I can see that and so I can write that down. Make sure that it's on the post where the prompt is actually posted. Filmage Studios, hello, hello. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that needs to be a bit shorter. All right, so a lot of just trying to make sure that everything looks proportionally right, which is hilarious for me to say considering the fact I'm drawing, you know, robots that can basically morph themselves down to about 300% of what they currently are supposed to be at. I think it's double wall. Yep. Now thinking about it, uh, so I'm going to plug in an artist that I think that you guys should probably, if you haven't already been following them, I definitely feel like you need to. He's a personal favorite of mine for the last couple of years, but his name is Daniel Warren Johnson. He's out from the Chicago area. I want to say he's originally from Virginia, but he's been residing in Chicago, and I'm not sure how long. It's probably years, but um, he has drawn several Transformers as far as like commission stuff within the last couple of years, and I know he's done one of Optimus Prime, uh, literally going from car mode to robot mode. Um, and he even wrote in the background the sound effect from the cartoon into it. Um, but absolutely feel like he is probably uh, going to be looked at as like uh, the next Darwin Cook or the next Stuart Eminem. I It might be a little bit uh, might be controversial. Uh, it's not meant to be. I just definitely feel like this guy is coming in with a different kind of character, a different kind of outlook when it comes to comic art and drawing stuff, and it just is not afraid to just go all out almost every single time, and it just floors me. But at the same time, it also pushes me to try to, do more stuff. Oh no, it's another person saying "Go bots." But if you're wondering what all comics that Daniel Warren Johnson has done, I highly recommend Murder Falcon, which, if you're like a concerned parent, uh, don't be concerned. It has nothing to do with murder. It's just the name of the character. Um, but it's just a beautiful comic that just happens to be talking about, you know, music and life and um, having to deal with, the struggles, the things that you can't control, and how the main character just kind of overcomes them. It is a great comic. If you're a fan of wrestling, then you'll definitely love his most recent one, which is called "Do a Power Bomb." And if I remember correctly, all the stuff that he's done is through, excuse me, Image and Skybound Comics. So you should be able to find anything that he's done through there. And I'm gonna have to reshape this leg just a bit. So I'm going to show you guys something that Kind of helps me out a bit. And I'm completely apologize that this is going to be a bit of a long stream. But when we're dealing with an angle like this, um, and trying to keep the body in its proportion and stuff like that. Of course, I've got the paper at an angle, so I'm not seeing certain things I probably should have. But when we're looking at this very angled, almost bird eye view to a degree, we have to keep things within the proportions. So since his body is right here, but then the rest of the body is like kind of at an angle. So legs are going to have to do almost the same thing. So a good way to do it is to get like a straight edge or a ruler, and but you're going to have to realize that one leg is almost going to look slightly shorter than the other, but when you put it together, it'll look correct. So right knee is here, and that means that the left knee is over there. And then there's also a third knee that's known as a wit knee. Anyways, that was a really, really bad dad joke. But anyways, I should probably give you an idea, just like a little hack, if you will, when it comes to doing bodies at this angle. And sometimes I need to also remind myself to check my angles whenever I'm doing characters. Wait, hang on, sorry, missed a comment. I was just thinking Optimus looks like he might be anatomically correct. So I had mentioned something about this before, like drawing, like a bipedal type robot. It's as long as you can draw, basically the guidelines of what could be considered as like the human skeleton. Then all you have to do is just kind of, even if you're drawing like a knight in full armor, the same theory applies. Are Transformers easier to draw because of the shapes? Good question. If I was a little kid, I would say yes, most definitely, because of the shapes. Um, but I feel like the older I'm getting, the more I'm actually enjoying more biomechanical type stuff. Like the Guyver would be a perfect example, because there's more roundness to the armor, the shapes, and a little bit more flexibility, especially since it's a bit more organic um, with the lines. And then, of course, I'm also a big fan of just drawing a character like Joe Costa, for instance. again, more organic type lines because there's a lot of curves. Not just because she's a curvy android or anything like that, but um, I think I've just become a little bit more accustomed to just feeling more at home doing more organic lines. But at the same time, I don't want to get myself stuck in a rut to, being stuck with that. So I do have to do more, blocky, more technical type stuff. Um, because, you know, I'm not Rob Liefeld. I'm not a one trick pony. Apologies if you like Rob Liefeld or to Rob Liefeld himself. But, but yeah, I think the only other thing that would actually come just as close to, I guess, easiness with the shapes would be like drawing Gundams, especially like the very first Gundam, which I believe is the RX-78. Um, and if I'm wrong with the model name, please forgive me. But but yeah, I like that one because the shapes are very, very, very similar to Transformers, which Gundam actually predates Transformers or any transforming robot stuff. I think, well, maybe I think the only exceptions to the rule is like Get a Robo or Messenger Z or Messenger K, whatever that series is called. Um, I want to say that those also existed in the 70s. But then again, when it comes to robots in anime, all lines draw back to the original source, which is Astro Boy. Feel like I am missing something, and I'm right. So the best part about using a softer lead, which is that it's so much easier to erase. Which that's also the one thing that has struck me off guard. Going back to talking about Dan Warren Johnson, he uses the heaviest lead. Wow, can't speak. He uses the heaviest lead or graphite, I should say. Um, so like I think he primarily uses a mechanical pencil, but it's like a point 0.9, which is super heavy lead or graphite. And I just couldn't fathom um, doing that kind of line work with that kind of thing, but he absolutely loves it. And I never get a chance to watch any of his live drawing streams, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Which, if I remember correctly, he does a live drawing every Friday, but it's never at the time that uh, I guess what I should say is never really at a set time. So I couldn't tell you that it's, at like 4 p.m. or anything like that. It could be in the morning, it could be at night. It just really depends on, I guess, his work schedule, I should say. Am I a fan of Evangelion? Yes, I am. Now, I will say this though. I do remember watching the what was it, the end of Evangelion. I think that was the movie, but apparently there was like a movie before that, and that was one that I did not see. I know that they have released the entirety of the series, including both of those movies on Netflix, I believe. I did watch the Redux remake uh, that they've done. Absolutely enjoyed that, especially the fourth. It feels like it's a fourth wall break that happens several times within the last movie. But yeah, that was definitely interesting for sure. Just looked it up. The show was called Space Giants. It came out in 1966. Yeah, I want to say that Astro Boy came out in the 50s. Uh, Part of me, just in my mind, for some reason, I believe that Astro Boy came out in the 50s, if not the very early 60s. Osamu Tezuka basically laid the groundwork for almost every genre of manga and anime. Um, which I mean, it's a good reason why he's considered, the godfather of all of that. Which it's interesting whenever I shock people to let them know that he's actually the one who wrote the story for The Lion King, if I remember correctly, because it's originally called Kimba the White Lion, I believe that's the name of it. But in The Lion King, he's known as Simba. So there's some interesting slight skirts away from copyright issues, uh, courtesy of Disney. Um, but I think I'll probably have more issues if Disney starts stealing stuff from anything that Studio Ghibli has put out. Came out September 1963. Yep, sounds about right. All right, so I'm going to try and make this as quick as I possibly can. I'm going to be putting in, uh, some types of paneling because it would not be a giant robot without some super awesome paneling. Which I don't know if you guys actually have 2B or not, but um, the animated Transformers, like the OG Generation 1 and I believe Gen 2 as well, is on 2B. So if you want to take a walk down memory lane and experience the rise of the Dinobots and the discovery of Jetfire, or what's he known as Skyfire, it's one to two. Like in the This is really weird. So in the second Michael Bay Transformers film, he's known as Jetfire, and for some reason in my mind, I've always known him as Jetfire, but I want to say in the animated series, he's known as Skyfire. But for some reason, that doesn't sound right. I'm probably just working off of a faulty memory bank. Um, but yeah, if you ever want to go down that little walk memory lane and watch that stuff, it is there for free on Tubi. So definitely recommend that. All right, now to fix up the cannon, because this thing is so much cooler than Nick Cannon. Sick burn, bro. No, I actually enjoy the Wild and Out show. Uh, I don't have Paramount, but whenever I do happen to see compilation video gets posted on Facebook, I'll take the time to sit and watch it. I had a feeling that it was leaning just a bit. All right, Alan. See you later. And let's see. Trying to think of how to decisively go about this. So, as you can obviously tell, I am just taking my time, which can actually be a very, very, very bad thing. But for the sake of, stream, just taking my time, each of these lines and angles, and just making sure that everything looks like it should be in the places that they're supposed to be at. Which, if you can't tell, I'm also going to be redoing a couple of lines here and there and making sure that that goes here and this goes there and all the other fun stuff. Pretty sure I've got one angle more wonky than the other. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely what I get for attempting to draw a childhood character for the first time in 20 years. Let's go over just a bit more. Yep. And something about that seems a bit off. checking up on the feet. Okay. double check because I know that there's like it's not really like a wheel. It's like oh, it's like a manifold or something. So I want to be doing something with the inking on this. It's going to be very counterintuitive to what I normally do. Um, so it's going to be a lot of thick lines, and we'll probably be dropping in some Sharpie to cover in some black areas, and then just try to quickly go over some of the stuff with some white. So, free tell. See if this works, which I think it will. Should. So I'm trying to get as clean of a line as I possibly can. And we had to quote Prime. All it takes is a little bit of energon, and a lot of luck. See, with these shorter lines, it's a lot easier for me to freehand. And of course, any, line that you want to redo, don't have to worry. Just have, some white ink on you, and you could just go back over it and it'll be fine. Not everything in terms of using ink comes out like a, disaster that you think it might. You understand the tools, uh, everything should be fine. Now that I'm thinking about it, so the animated Transformers movie came out in 1986, which if you were one of the lucky ones that got to watch it when it first aired in the theaters, do you have an ounce of envy? Because that would have been an awesome experience, personally. But what I was originally going to say is that there is a um, song by the band Haken, spelled Haken. Think the word taken, but replace the T with an H. I can't remember if they're from the UK or if they're from Australia. But anyways, they've got a song called 1985, and there's a moment in the song where it's really hard to tell if it's the guitar player or the keyboard player, uh, but because they both kind of like double each other's parts. But the melody, I can swear it's almost note for note as one of the battle music parts in the Transformers movie. I could be totally wrong, but I honestly do believe that that is um, there in that song. Whether or not if it was planned or not is beyond me, but um, I definitely think it is. So, but either way, it's a great song. And if Facebook or YouTube wasn't as strict as they are when it comes to playing copyrighted music on stream, I would probably be playing that right now. might be using a smaller pen size for the paneling stuff. Let's see here. So I'm going to be flipping the piece of paper so I can get a better angle at the head. So if you're wondering why things are slightly upside down, that's why. I do apologize if that completely, upends your viewing pleasure, but so much easier to get a better line doing it this way. Yep, I was right.
So if you can't tell, with my just being silent, I'm kind of like holding my breath and choosing my lines carefully. And it's not because, I don't want to interact with the stream, whoever may or may not still be on it. It's definitely one of those moments where you just kind of get lost in it all. All right, so let's see if we can quickly bust this out and call it a night after I get all this put together. So shouldn't take too long, as like I said, was not planning on all this being, uh, you know, such a long stream, but it ended up being so. And I guess lessons were learned, which I can tell you guys right now. So the next stream involving Baroness is definitely not going to be a long stream. It'll be very short and to the point. You can actually hear an. I'm not sure if you can hear this on stream, but the oh gosh, there's a airplane flying right now. It's kind of caught me off guard. For some reason, I was just like, wow, that's a really big uh, thunderstorm happening. I'm like, no, wait, that's an airplane. Let's see if I need to. Well, Decisions. That'd be a good idea if I do that. All right. So trying to create little bits of chrome and kind of drop in some kind of shading of some sort. Like Let's get this white pen to operate. Yeah. There. So yeah, I think that is going to be that for the stream. I'm going to try to enlarge it just a bit.
So that you guys can see it. All right. Yeah. Like I said, totally apologize about it being such a longer stream than it was supposed to have been. But you know what? We muscled through. We persevered. We threw lines down the page. And yeah, there you have it. You got yield Optimus Prime. And I'll get that line up just a bit. Anyways, so going to do last minute shopkeeping just to end it off for the night. Haven Comics is located 1871 Slaughter Road, Suite F in Madison, Alabama, and we are open on Wednesday through Sunday. Please remember to like and subscribe. Every like, every subscribe, every comment, every share, every follow helps us out immensely. And also including, personal stuff that I do as well, which if you're trying to figure out where you can find me, you can like and follow me through my handle, running out of words. So if you put at tpriceartworks, that's where you will find me. You do it through Linktree. Again, tpriceartworks, and you will find me here on Facebook and also on Instagram and on Twitter and also on Hive Mastodon. If you did not catch something that I had said probably about maybe 30, 40 minutes into the stream, I am doing a special thing throughout the month of February called Femme Fatale February. So there's still plenty of things if you want to call dibs on in terms of my artwork. All the rules of how that works out is there in the posts which I have posted today on the 22nd. If you just happen to be watching this on a different day. So yeah, all that's there, and I will bid you guys a good night. Later.